Welcome back and thank you for joining me again. Today I'm going to go over a market update for the entire LA County for the month of August. And then at the end of this, I'm going to share with you a dirty little secret, how your refusal to go back to the office can bring down the US economy. So stay tuned for more. Let's get started though. Office space, we're looking at $41.99 per square foot per year, and an annual rent growth of 1.2%, and a cap rate at 5.5%, and a vacancy factor at 14%, and a sale price per square foot at $460. In industrial, we're looking at $17.72, annual rent growth at 14%, cap rate at 4.2%, vacancy factor at 2.2%, and a sale price per square foot at $327. Next, we're looking at retail, $35.10 per square foot per year for rent, annual rent growth of 3.2%, cap rate at 5.2%, and a vacancy factor of 5%, and a sale price per square foot at $420. Last but not least, we're going to look at multifamily. On average, you're looking at about $2,188 per door, and an annual rent growth of 5.5%, and a cap rate at 3.9%, and a vacancy factor at 3.4%, and then on average, a sale price of $422,000 per door. This is an average. This is for the entire LA County, so it varies by market. So you may be looking at your property and you're like, these numbers don't match up. That may be very well correct. This is an average for the entire LA County. Now, before we started, I shared with you how your refusal to return back to the office can bring down the US economy, and here's what I mean. So I want you to look at this 14% vacancy factor. What this means is now they're going to have to assume that the office building is going to be 14% vacant. That may be okay during COVID when you can say, oh, it's COVID because of COVID. But I think we can all agree in the United States, COVID is essentially over. So if this number continues staying this high, and you contribute to it if you refuse to go back to the office, then we're going to have a massive revaluation for a lot of these buildings. Now, this wasn't the case before COVID. So a lot of these owners of these buildings, Class A buildings in downtown, central business districts, they're owned by pension funds, these asset managers who were looking for very safe returns. People put their life savings in it probably. And so when they bought it up here and now it's only worth down here, and the returns they're receiving every single month for it because they are collecting rent, but if all of a sudden you have a lot less tenants, you're collecting less rent. So a lot more people are going to be more poor if this continues staying this high. And one very important factor about this is a lot of these buildings, they're purchased with debt. And every few years, they do have to roll over that debt and refinance. So if they borrowed and purchased at this high and is only worth here now, a little bit lower, do you think when they go to the bank is going to go ahead and give them that money to repay up here when it was only worth down here? They won't. And that creates an environment for defaults, massive defaults, because of the revaluation of these office buildings. So that's exciting, isn't it? Your refusal to return back to the office can really have a massive monumental effect in the downtown areas that you used to work in. And you can affect a lot of the values of these portfolios, of these asset managers, these hedge funds, these pension funds out there. So something to keep in mind, some fun facts I wanted to share with you. Let me know what your thoughts are, your questions, comments. Feel free to reach out anytime, all right? Thank you for joining me today.